picked ones. That which I'm about to say might be painful to hear, but it's the truth you need to know. If you're watching this video right now, it's not by chance. God has brought you here for a reason. This message is powerful and will profoundly impact you. It will also tell you of your divine purpose. You've been through a lot, but something important is happening in your life right now. You will be laughed at and rejected, but the end of your journey and the reason you were called to this are already set. Your fate is unfolding, and it will unfold exactly as God has planned. You will face struggles, yes, but know this: your end will be the same as everyone else's. Every chosen one has endured the worst, but they will find their purpose in the light. You may be questioning everything, feeling the weight of rejection and abandonment, but know that these trials are part of your divine calling. Your suffering is not pointless. It's changing you, and God has already paved the way for you. As a chosen one, it's time to embrace what's coming. Your journey may feel lonely at times, but trust that the end is already written. Your change will reveal that God's plan was behind everything you've endured. Before we go on, please pause the movie and hit the like button. Please subscribe to help us get to 60,000 and leave a reply with the number 99. If you're truly chosen, you'll watch this until the very end. Your spirit already knows that this is for you, and deep down you are ready to receive the truth. If you're not ready, you may not survive, but those who do will never be the same. Now let's dive in. The path of the chosen one is a sacred and difficult journey. You have been called to a purpose that is greater than anything you could have imagined. The world doesn't understand your calling, and sometimes neither do you. God has laid out this journey, no matter how difficult it may be. Through deep transformation, you will leave this world at the cross like those who came before you. Your divine destiny has already been written, and even though the road ahead may seem steep and full of hardship, it is the only way to reach its completion. More than just pain, the cross symbolizes the necessary sacrifice for the greater good. It is not the end, but a necessary transition. You are called to go beyond what the world expects of you, to rise above the everyday, and to walk a path that others may find unbearable. But in your suffering lies the power to change the world. The cross, which was once a sign of defeat, will become the site of your ultimate victory. You will leave the world behind and fully embrace your divine purpose. No one else can walk this path for you. It is a path meant for you alone. The cross is waiting for you, and with it, your transformation. The journey will be challenging, but when you surrender everything, your true strength will emerge. Your death is not a tragedy. It is the completion of a divine plan that will continue to inspire and raise people long after you are gone. This is not due to chance or whim, but rather because God desires the best for you. Your destiny has been decided long before you took your first breath. The world will never understand why you walk this path, but it does not matter. What matters is that you were chosen, and God has set this course for you. Your end, as difficult as it may be to accept, will mirror the path of those before you. The world will try to pull you down, to belittle you, but that only proves that you are on the right path. You will leave this world, but your departure will be purposeful, fulfilling a higher calling that only you can carry out throughout history. The greatest of souls have faced rejection, ridicule, and suffering. They too were chosen to fulfill a divine purpose, just like them. Your journey is one of deep sacrifice. You will not be understood by those around you, but you must stand firm. You must embrace the path, knowing that your final act, the one that will take you from this world, will fulfill God's plan. Just as Christ's death on the cross was a divine decision, so too is your journey. It is not for you to question, but to accept. For in that acceptance lies your true power. Your story will not be one of fleeting success or recognition. It will be one of eternal impact. The world will fail to see your worth, but God sees you. He knows your pain, your sacrifice, and your heart. The final moments of your journey will mirror those of the great chosen ones before you, but in your final act, you will leave a legacy that will live on forever, inspiring countless others to follow their own divine calling, no matter how difficult the road may be. When you think of the cross, you may picture suffering and pain, but it is so much more than that. The cross is a symbol of your divine calling, a mark of your sacred journey. It represents not only the trials you will face, but the ultimate purpose behind those trials. You are not just walking aimlessly. Every step you take is leading you to a greater understanding of your higher purpose. The cross is not something to fear, but something to embrace as the ultimate expression of your divine sacrifice. The world may look at you with disdain, but the cross is a reminder that your calling is not of this world. You are meant to transcend earthly struggles, to rise above pain and fulfill a higher purpose. It is in the moments of hardship and suffering that your true strength will shine. If you want to change, the cross is a sacred symbol of your unwavering faith and commitment to your divine destiny. This may seem heavy, but bearing the cross will give you true power. So embrace the cross, for it is not only a sign of suffering, but also of deep strength. Life's biggest changes happen in the worst times, and the cross leads to them. Worldly people will try to break you, but the cross will give you the strength to do your job. Not only will the world reject you, but sometimes people you love will too. Most of your friends, family, and loved ones may not understand why you choose the path you do, and they may even make fun of you. Your doubts or even abandonment are not a sign of your weakness. They are a sign of your strength. Your dedication to a higher calling, a purpose that surpasses the ordinary, is evident in the rejection you encounter. This rejection is part of your divine purpose. Since the beginning of time, those who were called to a higher destiny have faced this challenge. Those great souls who faced rejection and laughter understood it as a sign that they were on the right path. In the same way, you must stand firm in the face of rejection. It is a badge of honor that shows you are on the way to fulfilling your divine calling. People will tease and misunderstand you, but in the end, you will know that it is part of your greater purpose. Your journey is about carrying out God's plan, not getting other people's approval. So remember that rejection is a sign that you are on the right path. Hatred and betrayal will come your way. These are not signs of failure, but of walking the divine path. Just as Christ was betrayed by those closest to him, so will you. But this is part of the purification process. It is through betrayal that your faith and commitment to your purpose are tested. It is in these times of intense suffering that your true strength will shine through. Hatred is another test you have to go through. It's easy to give up when you see if you hate other people, know that it means you're on the right path. The chosen one's journey isn't one of acceptance or popularity. It's a road of separation from the crowd, and hatred will try to bring you down, to make you question yourself. But keep in mind that the more hate there is, the closer you are to making your dream come true. God's plan for your life includes betraying people and facing hatred. These things will happen, but they will pass, leaving you stronger, more resilient, and more determined to follow God's calling. People may hate you, but God has already called you. And that's what really matters. There are moments when the weight of your journey may feel unbearable. You may question why you must endure such suffering, but understand that this suffering is not arbitrary. It is not a random trial. It is a part of God's divine decision for your life. Just as Christ faced suffering on the cross, you too must walk the path of suffering to fulfill the greater purpose that God has laid out for you. This path is not easy, but it is necessary. God does not promise an easy life for the chosen ones. He promises strength to endure, wisdom to understand, and grace to carry the burden. The suffering you face will refine you, purify you, and prepare you for the divine destiny that awaits you. Embrace the suffering, for it is through it that you will be transformed into the person you are meant to be. God has already decided your path, and with His decision comes both challenge and purpose. Do not be discouraged by the suffering you face. It is through this suffering that you will find the strength to fulfill your calling and leave a legacy that will last for eternity. To carry the burden. The suffering you face will refine you, purify you, and prepare you for the divine destiny that awaits you. Embrace the suffering, for it is through it that you will be transformed into the person you are meant to be. God has already decided your path, and with His decision comes both challenge and purpose. Do not be discouraged by the suffering you face. It is through this suffering that you will find the strength to fulfill your calling and leave a legacy that will last for eternity. The story of the chosen one is not new. Across history, great figures have walked the same path, faced similar struggles, and endured similar hardships. The world's rejection, betrayal by those closest to them, and ultimate departure from this world. This has been the pattern for every soul called to a higher purpose. Just as Christ's sacrifice on the cross marked the fulfillment of His divine purpose, so too will your journey lead you to your final moment of transcendence. The chosen one must never forget that they are part of something greater than themselves. You are not the first to walk this difficult path, nor will you be the last. The ones who came before you, who faced the same pain and ridicule, have paved the way for you. Their struggles and their willingness to endure the impossible have laid the foundation for your own journey. You draw your strength from their example, understanding that the pattern of sacrifice leads to transformation, and that transformation leads to the fulfillment of God's will. History is replete with examples of the chosen ones who left this world through suffering, but their departure was not a sign of failure, but the beginning of something. In the same way, Eternal, your death will not be the end of a divine change that will affect the world for a long time after you are gone. The chosen must test their faith in times of rejection, teasing, and betrayal. You may feel abandoned, alone, and isolated, but this is where your faith is purified. Just as great historical figures stood firm in their faith even when the world turned against them, so must you. Your faith should give you strength in the midst of suffering, not protection. When things are going well, it is easy to believe, but true faith is most evident when things are challenging. The chosen one's path may be challenging, yet these trials will validate your faith. The world will ridicule you, attempt to demolish you, and even abandon you, yet your faith will serve as a beacon of hope during these challenging times, keeping you firmly grounded in your divine purpose. When you die, your faith will carry you and give you the strength to accept your destiny, no matter how hard. The world may not understand, but God does. He sees your heart, your struggles, and your unwavering belief. Your faith is what will allow you to rise above and fulfill the purpose you were chosen for. To be the chosen one is to accept the weight of the world's rejection. It means to know that your path will be one of sacrifice, but to walk it with grace, knowing that the sacrifice is for a greater cause. The world may not comprehend your calling and may even attempt to undermine you at every step, yet this is the cost of achieving greatness. Your destiny is not to look for comfort, but to be a light in the darkness for people who are called to walk similar routes. If you accept your fate, you will have to deal with the problems that come with it. You won't be able to avoid pain, and you shouldn't try. The sacrifice you will have to make is not something to be afraid of. It is the key to unlocking the divine purpose that has been placed on your life. You will undergo the necessary transformation to fulfill your chosen calling through this sacrifice. On your journey, you will have to give up many things. Things you will lose. The love of your closest friends and family, the approval of the world, and even the comfort of the familiar. But what you gain is much greater. The sacrifice you make will take you to a higher calling that is not your own. While the cross is a place of suffering, it is also a place of ultimate transformation. You may find it hard to accept that your end has already been decided. The thought of leaving this world can be overwhelming and scary, but in the big picture, your departure is not something to be afraid of. It is part of God's divine plan. Your journey, your struggles, and your times of victory and defeat are all written in the stars. The cross is not a place of failure, it is a place of victory. When you accept the cross, you accept God's will. Though difficult, this is the only way to fulfill your divine purpose. People in this world may try to pull you away from your destiny, but God's plan is firm. Your end will come at the cross, and that's exactly where you need to be. It's in this last act that your real strength will be shown. Your end is not a sign of failure, it is the beginning of victory. When the chosen ones embrace the cross, they leave behind everything earthly to follow their higher calling. This is the pivotal moment of metamorphosis, where you transform into the individual you have always destined to be. The chosen one must struggle through life's trials to emerge as something greater, just like the caterpillar has to struggle to break free of the cocoon. The suffering you endure on the cross will not be in vain. It is through this suffering that you will be transformed into the person you were always meant to be. The cross represents the ultimate act of surrender, the moment when you let go of the old and embrace the new. In the darkest moments of your journey, when it seems like everything is falling apart, remember that it is in these struggles that the greatest changes happen. The cross will not break you, it will make you, it will refine you, purify you, and prepare you for your divine purpose. Despite your death on the cross, you will not succumb to defeat. You will undergo a transformation. People around the world may see it as the end, but it's really the start of something new. If you die on the cross, you are reborn into your higher purpose and will fulfill the divine destiny that was always meant to be yours. It is normal to be afraid of leaving this world, but your departure is not a defeat, it is a victory. Your departure is the fulfillment of God's divine plan for your life. You were chosen for this moment and this journey, and when the time comes for you to leave this world, it will be in perfect alignment with God's will. The world may not understand, but that doesn't matter. God's plan is better and His will is higher. Your departure from this world is not the end. It is a continuation of the journey that began long before you were born. Just as the great souls who came before you have left a lasting impact on the world, so too will your departure leave a legacy that will endure. You are not leaving in defeat. You are stepping into your eternal purpose, fulfilling the divine calling that has been on your life since the beginning of time. When you leave this world, you will do so, knowing that you have fulfilled your purpose, you have walked the path that was meant for you. And in doing so, you have made a lasting impact on the world your legacy will live on, inspiring others to follow their own divine calling just as you have the reject kitchen. You face the mockery, you endure the hatred, you receive. These are not signs of your failure, but signs that you are walking the path that has been set for you. The chosen ones have always faced rejection. They have been mocked, ridiculed, and betrayed. But this is a part of the journey. It is through these challenges that you will prove your faith, your strength, and your commitment to God's will. The world will not understand your calling, and it will try to tear you down. But these moments of rejection are exactly what you need to stay on course when the world rejects you. Remember that God has already chosen you. His approval is all that matters. The cross is not a place of defeat. It is a place where the chosen ones overcome the world's rejection to fulfill their divine purpose. Embracing ridicule and rejection won't shatter you. Instead, each task will fortify your strength. Every time someone looks down on you, it makes you more like the person you were always meant to be, and these times will prove your divine destiny in the end. The world may turn its back on you, but God has already chosen you. Every trial and pain you endure are proud signs of your divine calling. You may feel overwhelmed by the challenges you face, but know that each one you overcome is a confirmation of your higher purpose. God does not put you through tests if you are not destined for greatness. The difficulties you face are not punishments, they are signs that you are on the right path. Think about the brilliant souls who came before you. They too went through unbearable hardships, but in them they found their true purpose. The difficulties they faced shaped them and prepared them for the amazing destiny that lay ahead of them. If the journey is challenging, the rewards are greater. These trials aren't meant to break you, they're meant to make you stronger. They show how strong, resilient, and steadfast your faith is. As you face each trial, remember that you are not alone. God is with you the whole way, guiding you, supporting you, and watching you grow. Each challenge brings you closer to achieving your goals. You are not being abandoned by God. Instead, you are being prepared for something much greater than you can think. Your journey is one of change, and every step is something to be proud of. The problems you are facing right now are creating a future that will change the world. Face the challenges that lie ahead. Don't run away from the pain. It's not only a sign of your faith, it's also a badge of honor that confirms your place among the chosen ones. You were made for this moment. Let every trial make you stronger and more connected to your divine destiny. Your suffering serves as evidence of your chosen status, even though others may find it hard to believe. Throughout history, the chosen ones have faced the same ridicule, hardship, and trials. They were not broken by their suffering. Instead, they became stronger because they knew that their pain was a reflection of the divine plan unfolding in their lives. The struggles you face are not random. They are part of the blueprint that God has designed for you. Every setback and moment of doubt is a part of the divine transformation taking place within you. Your suffering is not a punishment. It is an important part of your growth. Understand that your suffering is not in vain. It shows how much you believe in God's bigger plan. Though the world doesn't see it, God is proud of your ability to overcome every challenge. Your ability to persevere through suffering is what makes you one of the chosen ones. So when you are going through hard times, don't see them as a burden. See them as proof that you are on the path that God has chosen for you and that He is proud of you. It's okay if people don't understand your journey. What really counts is God's approval, and He sees everything. Your path may seem hard, and other people may question your choices, but God is proud of you. He knows how heavy your burdens are, and how brave you are to keep going on your journey. Your problems serve as evidence that you're precisely where you should be. The chosen ones were never meant for the world to understand their path. It was always different, always difficult, and always full of they face problems. But it's by solving these problems that they prove they are worthy to follow the divine calling. You are on the same path, and each problem you solve is a step closer to achieving your greater purpose. Even if the world doesn't accept it, but God is with you. His approval is the only one that matters. You are not chosen to blend in with the crowd. You were chosen to stand out. God has placed this calling on your life because He knows you have the strength, faith, and courage to endure. You may not always feel His presence, but know that He is proud of you. Your suffering is not a reflection of your failure, but of your ability to endure. And as you continue to walk this path, His approval will be your constant companion. The true measure of your journey is not how the world sees you, but how God sees you, and God is proud of you for staying true to your calling, for facing every challenge with unwavering faith, and for continuing to walk the path that He has set before you. Every step you take on this journey is a triumph of faith. It may feel like you're struggling or that you are stuck in the same place, but the truth is that each moment of perseverance brings you closer to your divine destiny. The chosen ones were never promised an easy path, but what they were promised was the strength to endure, the wisdom to navigate their trials, and the ultimate triumph of fulfilling their higher purpose. As you take each step forward, no matter how small, remember that it is a victory. The world may not witness your progress, but God does. He sees your courage, determination, and undying faith that gets you through each day. Every trial you face is a chance to show your faith and your commitment to God's will. And with every step you take, you show that you can fulfill the divine calling on your life. Even though you might not immediately observe results, rest assured that God is diligently working in the background. Every challenge you face is preparing you for something much greater than you can imagine. Your faith is being tested, but with each victory, your spiritual strength grows. The world may not give you credit for your victories, but God sees them all and is proud of the way you keep fighting your God-given mission. Your journey demonstrates your strength, determination, and belief in God's plan. It's easy to think that the trials you face are too much, but remember that the bigger the test, the bigger the reward. God doesn't let you go through hard times for no reason. The problems you face are actually getting you ready for something amazing. Take a look at the lives of the great chosen ones who came before you. They went through a lot of hard times and suffered a lot, but in the end, they were victorious, carrying out God's plan for their lives and leaving a legacy that will affect future generations. You are going through trials that are shaping you and getting you ready for a glory that you can't even imagine. As you go through each one, remember that God is getting you ready for something amazing. You may not see it now, but your suffering will make sense one day. Your current problems are part of your divine transformation, and when the time comes, you will fulfill a destiny beyond your wildest dreams. The greater the challenge, the greater the resulting glory, and upon completing this journey, you will serve as a beacon of hope for those enduring similar challenges. The journey of the chosen one is not about getting to a destination. It's about embracing the change that happens along the way. You may have doubtful times when the end seems too far away, but the end is not what matters. What matters is the person you become as you walk the path that God has set before you. It is easy to focus on the end goal and wish your struggles would end, but the true glory of your journey lies in the growth you experience as you walk it. The problems you're having right now are making you into the person you need to be to reach your divine purpose. Every struggle, victory, and trial is an opportunity to grow closer to God and become His chosen person. The chosen ones aren't judged by their goal, but by their journey. You are truly tested when you feel like giving up, but it is when you overcome those trials that your faith grows, your strength is refined, and your divine calling becomes clearer. The destination will come in due time, but for now, enjoy the journey. It's where you'll truly change. Remember that the journey isn't about being perfect. It's about becoming the person you were always meant to be. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a triumph. Your journey is proof of how strong your faith is and how committed you are to following your divine calling. You have been called to a higher purpose, and that purpose comes with challenges. Instead of seeing these challenges as a sign of hopelessness, rejoice in them. The chosen ones have always faced hardship, and it was in their struggle that they found their greatest strength. You will also find strength in your TRs. When things get hard, know that it's not a punishment, but a sign of your divine purpose. There are tough times ahead, but God has called you because He knows you can handle them. Rejoice because every trial serves to strengthen, draw closer to God, and fulfill your calling. Your pain is not in vain. It's what will bring you to greatness.